Hey y'all, about to get ready and go to bed, but I said let me go and do this right quick before I go to bed. So I wanted to talk about when everything seems like it's falling apart, right? So for instance, sometimes it look like everything is in your life is starting like to just deteriorate. It seemed like everything just falling apart. It seemed like just if it ain't one thing, it's another. Like it's just, like it's just a shakeup, okay? So we're gonna talk about the shakeup, okay? Because a lot of times, who we y'all? I'm sorry, I told y'all I'm like, I'm too old. I'm too young to be doing all this young. It ain't nothing but like, what time is it here? It ain't even 8 o'clock yet. So this is what happened when you're an old soul trapped in a young body. So back to what I was saying. Um, so a lot of times, things happen, right? And the reason why sometimes that we be afraid of things, um, because we don't understand why things are happening, right? But if you actually understood what was coming, then you won't be as afraid, or you embrace um, shakeups, or you will more so embrace um, things falling apart, right? Because at the end of the day, whenever something is falling apart, that means that's something that naturally happens, right? When something falls apart, it means it's something that cannot be controlled. Meaning something that cannot be controlled, meaning God has his hand on it, right? And a lot of times we feel like it's the devil, or we feel like, it's not God when things start falling apart, when things start happening. But in actuality, it's God, okay? It's him shaking some things up because maybe you didn't get the lessons that he's trying to give you, or you didn't learn exactly what you needed to learn out of something, or you it was a test that you were supposed to pass um, that was taking you too long to pass. So a lot of times he had to shake things up to bring awareness or to get your attention on things, right? So a lot of times, things happen, a shakeup happen, a tower moment, things in our life, things start falling apart to get our attention, right? To be like, hey, something got to change. And because you didn't jump off the cliff, now you're about to be pushed off the cliff, okay? So when it comes to certain things, certain cycles, um, there are time frames that certain things happen, okay? Certain things cannot stay the same. Matter of fact, nothing in life stays the same. Change is inevitable, okay? So, therefore, whenever a cycle needs to end and you don't have the ability to do it, then God will do it for you. And when he do it for you, you will not like it. Or you're going to feel it. You real deal going to feel it. Versus had you moved the way you needed to move, had you learned the things you needed to learn, you gathered the tools you needed to venture off into the next season, it would have never happened, okay? Certain things happen when your time is up on something, when the test is up, then what the teacher do? Demands you to give it to him whether you done or not, right? Certain things have to happen. Especially when you moving too slow. You know, regardless of anything that it is. I'm in the middle of a video. Do not interrupt me, okay? Get your tablet right there and go in there. Sorry about that, y'all. So anyway, um, it's just like a test, okay? Regardless of what kind of test you're taking, whether it's a driver's license test, it's a test in the regular classroom, with a professor or something like that. When it's time for the test to end, the teacher want it, regardless if you finish with it or not, right? So, when it comes to certain seasons, when it's time for a shift, when it's time for a change, when it's time for something new, and you don't want to let that thing go, oh, he will snatch it, okay? That's why we can't get too comfortable with things, or we can't we can't get so caught up in holding on to things that we have no business holding on to, right? Because a lot of times we try to hold on to things, but we get signs and we get um, certain warnings that, hey, it's time to let this thing go. And if you don't let it go, I'm going to take it. You know what I mean? So the good thing of when things seem to be falling apart, that means that God has his hand on it. So whenever he have his hand on something, then you can assure that, hey, it's for the change, it's for the move for the better. Even though that thing don't feel good, that means, hey, he's stepping in now. That means some things about to get done, because the things that you didn't have the ability to do, that you didn't have the ability to let go, that you didn't have the ability to trust, okay, to do yourself, he's stepping in to do it for you, okay? So now it's almost like judgment is taking place, right? So he had to step in. So a good example of that, because I've been talking about the balance of the mind and the heart, right? So a good example of all that I'm talking about would be Tyler Perry movie, The Diary of a Mad Black Woman, right? Angry Black Woman, right? Was it Mad Black Woman or Angry? One of them. Can't think of it right now, and then I'm sleepy. So anyway, if you think about the movie, you have Helen, you have Charles, you have Orlando, you have Brenda, right? So Charles was a well-known lawyer, right? He did pretty well for himself. You could say they was rich, him and his wife Helen. They was together for years. I think she said 15 years, 15 plus 20 years or whatnot, since high school, okay? And Charles decided that he no longer wanted Helen. So he ended up putting her out of their house, okay, that they built together, and moving his the person that he thought he loved, or I could say the person that he thought loved him in, which was also his side chick or whatnot that he happened to have gotten an outside child with. So he moved his chick in, right? Put his wife out, demanded a divorce from her, and moved his chick in. Soon as that happened, you can say that that's when stuff started to hit the fan. He ended up getting shot by a drug dealer, and ended up getting paralyzed from waist down. Now, when it comes to the relationship that he thought was fruitful, right? That he thought would be fruitful, um, the minute that he was shot, right, and hurt, took sick, couldn't do the things that he normally did, provide, make money, whatever. You know what I mean? The minute that was shot down, right? The woman that he so called thought loves him, or he so called love, vamped out, right? So Helen, his wife, because they had not still went through a divorce yet, um, she ended up coming back or whatnot and staying with him to help him through the process that he was going through. Now, the same woman that people stereotype, right, the angry black woman, was the same woman that helped him and stayed with him, right? Even though he had hurt her, or that she was wounded, particularly for what he have done, right? What he did to her, right? So, which showed a lot about her strength. And really, in actuality, it was a revealing of the heart, right? This situation, when he put his wife out for some person that was only there for him, well, with him, for the money, because, like, keep in mind now, in the movie it was his wife. I mean, it was a side chick, but it could have went any other way. It could have been the wife, it could have been whoever. But this person was portrayed as a side chick. But she wanted him for the money, right? So a lot of hearts was revealed in this movie. The heart of Charles, the heart of Brenda's, the side chick that really didn't want him, and also the heart of Helen, which was Pierre, because she real deal loved that man, and she would do anything for him. That's why she could still be there for him even after he did what he did. But you have Brenda on the other side that had ulterior motives. But guess what? She only reflected Charles. He was greedy. And guess what? A man pride will come, a man's fall. I mean, the man's pride will come before a fall. Okay? So he was greedy. He was selfish. He was a fool. And he attracted another fool. Right? So, with saying this, what I'm saying is that he attracted somebody with the same type of heart as him. And I could go down and say, which I don't know why Tyler, well, I guess I know why Tyler Perry named it An Angry Black Woman, because it was the diary of a hurt woman, right? But guess what? Helen didn't stay there. She didn't let that hurt, that pain from that fool, right? Because that's what he was, a fool. She didn't allow that to keep her down, right? She didn't allow that to keep her from love, which was Orlando, and we'll get to. So basically, I guess the reason why he named it the Diary of a Mad Black Woman, because it basically showed her ability to still be resilient and to still love when even somebody tried to hurt you, but on the flip side, I'm looking at it like you this a damaged black man. This is a damaged man altogether. His heart was rotten. He was rotten. He was just damaged goods, okay? And I could say he was rotten. He wasn't no good. And he was dirty. Because guess what? That's why he got shot. Because he was being dirty. He was being greedy. He was being low down. And that's why that drug dealer popped him. Okay? So, not just because of what he did to Helen. It was more than what he did to Helen. He was doing stuff outside of the marriage. Okay? He was doing stuff at work. Okay? He was into some other stuff. So it's easy to say that he was damaged. He was gone. Okay, he had emotionally checked out of that marriage a long time ago, and he won him. Okay, he was a whole nother person. He was just dark. Okay, because he haven't dealt with some issues that he needed to deal with. Not only that, if you go into looking at it deeper, Helen also talked about how what he put her through, right? But she still loved him. And sometimes when you don't learn how to balance your head and your heart, you'll be a fool. So both of them had to get lessons, right? Even though, yeah, we can all put it on Charles because he was low down and his heart went right. You still gotta look at Helen, because guess what? Helen allowed him to do what he did, right? She stayed in that toxic relationship. She chose that. So everything she got is because of her. Okay? Because you don't have to stay in nothing. I don't care. This false loyalty that we have, don't be a fool. Don't let just because you married to somebody or because you been with somebody so long make you a doggone fool. Okay? Because that's what you're going to be if you don't learn how to use your heart and your head equally. Right? So that's why she got what she got. Okay? Because she just didn't know that she had put herself in a cycle, and that's why she was going through what she went through, and he stressed her out. Because remember, she talked about how stressed out he kept her, and she lost 3 babies, had 3 different miscarriages, right? So she was given signs. God gave her signs way before he had to put her out of the house, bring a whole nother woman in a outside child that they had outside the marriage for her to finally wake up. He basically had to put her out, spit in her face basically, to let her know, hey, I don't want you no more. Pushed her out, moved a whole nother woman in the house that they worked hard for because she was with him before he had anything right, which clearly don't mean nothing. Didn't mean nothing to him, right? So it took all that for her to finally open up her eyes to see, hey, your husband ain't right. Your wife ain't right. Whoever you with, who you got this false loyalty to, ain't right. It took them to sleep with your best friend. It took them to sleep with your whole team. You know what I'm saying? For you to finally wake up and to get some sense, right? So a lot of times God will do things, break up stuff, get all up in your stuff, okay? Shake some stuff up, create a tower moment so you can open your eyes and stop being such a fool, okay? And stop being so naive, or stop being having this false loyalty because you feel like you invested your time. When just like we all know that you got good investments, you got bad investments, and stuff go up and down, and the market go up and down. So just because it once was a good investment don't mean it's gonna always be a good investment. It could turn into a bad investment, just like that. So what are you holding on to? What false relationship got you in a sunken place? I'm just saying. Now we switching movies now, cause some of y'all like in a deep sunken place. So like I said, been there, done it. Got a T-shirt, right? So I know what it looked like. Been there, done it. So now I've learned how to use my heart less, okay, and use my mind and my heart equally. Because when you set up a certain way and you have a certain heart, you will end up overusing your heart out of love for people, okay? False loyalty for people, okay? You'll get mixed up, okay? Your feelings and your thoughts will be way off, okay? You become unbalanced, okay? And you end up making stupid decisions. Staying in things, putting yourself in cycles that don't even have to, she ain't even have to give all those years to him. She gave all her youth, but thank God that is a God, okay? And he restored that. So she found somebody came in her life, Orlando, seen her worth, but she didn't see her worth. And if she had a saw her worth, she would have never stayed with Charles that long. Okay? So sometimes, you know, things get done to us to show us that, hey, you need to learn balance, okay? Just because your ability to see certain things, potentials in people, don't make them good for you, okay? Because some people will never get to that, to their highest potential. You know, some people will never become kings, okay? They will stay little boys, or they will stay princes, okay? So you can't get so wrapped up into your, you know, this false fantasy, okay? Oh, just because I'm married to somebody mean I gotta stay here and be a fool, or just because I've been in a relationship with this person mean I gotta be a fool. They're a fool. I gotta be a doormat. No, 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 no. Don't don't fall for it, okay? Don't do it. Waste of time. You know, and it ain't guaranteed that you're gonna always get that time redeemed back, okay? So, um, at the end of the day, after she finally realized, you know, because at first she was like, nah, I'm gonna stay with Charles. You know, we've been together this long. You know, I love him. Even though he did what he did, okay, it was comfortable to her. He was stability to her. He was familiar to her because guess what? She knew his dysfunction. She knew his crazy. Okay? Sound familiar? You know certain people's crazies, so you so comfortable you'd rather pull up with their foolishness because this new person over here, Orlando, you don't know they crazy. You don't know they foolishness, but you're more comfortable with the person you used to be with, so you stay with the person you used to be with and be a fool, thinking that, oh, maybe they'll change, but in reality, ain't nothing gonna change them but that walk away game. Okay? Some things will never change people because you're teaching people how to teach you, how to treat you when you stay into crap, when you put up with that crap, okay? So, she finally, some family clicked, okay? Even though she hurt Orlando, she hurt him, okay? By going back to that old thing, going back to Charles, okay? The person that didn't appreciate her or didn't see her worth. But it's only truly because Helen didn't see her worth. But guess what? She actually ran into a man that had the heart of hers, the same heart that she had. So guess what? He recognized her just like that, even through her hurt. Even through her being damaged from their previous relationship, he noticed her just like that. Okay? So it's some of us that notice people just like that, but yet we see their heart and who they are, and yet we end up getting hurt because they went back to something else because they still haven't seen their worth. Okay, so like I said, it can go so many different levels, okay? And that's why it's good to pay attention to certain things because a lot of stuff that we see on television is basically it's a glimpse into the future, okay? And it could help you if you actually utilize things to actually help you in your everyday normal life, okay? So she finally clicked and was like, you know what? Even though I love Charles, this season is up. It's time for me to go. And it wasn't until she left that he changed. But hey, it was too late now because she didn't create a whole nother life and found somebody. Well, somebody found her that actually valued her and understood exactly who she was. And he jumped on it. And hey, when you snooze, you lose. So the husband that had her all along, the person that had her all along, never appreciated. And that's the worst thing. Like, you would think he done been with this woman how long? How could you not appreciate certain things? And this total stranger came in, clicked just like that, and saw her for who she was. So eventually, like I said, she hurt Orlando in the process, but she ended up getting it together and with going into a new direction. Cause that's all it was. She decided to break free from that old cycle, from that narcissist that she was with. Okay, that lost cause that she was with, because he was the lost cause. Let's just be real. He was gone. He was too far gone, and he wasn't gonna end up doing anything but hurting her even farther had she stayed going that same old direction. But you know that's just a good example of when things look like everything is falling apart, but when it's really falling apart to fall for something to be put together, right? For God to put something together that you never thought you would have, you never thought you would be able to experience, past that old thing. And then here she get blessed with a new thing, a new direction, a new chance, a second chance to have a life that all she ever wanted was with him. But I mean, sometimes, like I said, you have to go through that divorce. God have to push you out, even when we try to force things. And guess what? I've learned the hard way that when we try to force things, oh, that's when God really starts tearing up some stuff. When you try to control stuff and force things and try to make something or try to stay into something that's not ours to stay into. Okay? And things happen to us because we didn't move when we were supposed to move. So I hope this helped y'all. So like I said, if we don't learn nothing else, you learn that when you don't get your lessons, hey, something is gonna be forced. God gonna step in and he gonna break some stuff up. You're gonna be forced to see whatever you need to see when you don't see it within the time that you need to see it. Not only that, but you gotta look at both ways. We can't just blame Charles. You gotta look at Helen's part. People can only take you down or destroy you or do things to you with your permission. Okay? So learn how to stop giving so much, especially if it ain't reciprocated. Okay? And if that person just not giving what they need to give, then hey, chunk them. Chunk them, chunk them, chunk them. Because guess what? Your blessing is on the other side. What it look like is not what things are not what they seem. Okay? It look like you losing or you sacrificing or you giving up something. But hey, you about to step into something that is about to blow your mind. So y'all be good. And go and walk into your blessings. Be good.